got problems. Relationship not among them. And if they want me again, you're the only one I want. All of them, I want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancy, oh yeah. Her body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. Falling hard for you, oh yeah. Hard times too, oh yeah. My bad too, oh yeah. Feeling my bad too, oh yeah. All of them, I want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancy, oh yeah. Her body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. Daddy, I'm for you, oh yeah. All for you, oh yeah. My back too, oh yeah. Are you feeling my back too, oh yeah. My baby tell me say she love my style. She really wanna be the one to walk down. Let me get that if I ever break your heart. If I ever lie, if I ever leave you, let me bow. Everything going up, you the only one who keeps me calming down. The way you give me peace of mind, I know that you don't ever wanna see me frown. Now they got love I'm looking for, do it anytime. Where you are, where you come from, where you from, come. Son, I must not wanna compare. Oh, no, sorry, what she doesn't compare. Oh, no. Boy, if you force her to show yourself, she will lay you down flat, that's so bad. Oh, no, that's my baby, yeah. You can blow all your own race. That's my baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. All of them, now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancy, oh yeah. Her body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. Falling hard for you, oh yeah. Hard times too, oh yeah. My bad too, oh yeah. Feeling my bad too, oh yeah. All of them, now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancy, oh yeah. Her body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. Daddy, I'm for you, oh yeah. All for you, oh yeah. My bad too, oh yeah. Are you feeling my bad too, oh yeah.
It is often said any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That is why I introduce to you a company with magic, SM Group Incorporated. SM Group Incorporated is an internet technology company that provides the best quality and cheapest internet services, including IT management services, supplies of IT equipment, networking, mobile app and software development, structural cabling, and web design. We also develop POS cash register system for small businesses like mini-mart, supermarket, restaurants, and bar, hotel management software for reservations, and online booking. SM Group Incorporated installs biometric systems that include hotel door locks and access control, database, CCTV security, and motion sensor system installation with 24/7 monitoring and cloud backup storage with mini solar backup power system. Coming soon is the SM Group SASE-Net, which will deploy hundreds of Wi-Fi hotspots across the city with high-speed, affordable broadband internet service for less than $100 Liberian dollars. For more information, visit our website at www.smgroupincorporated.net or email us at info@smgroupincorporated.net or call cell numbers 0777-881-881. We are located at the intersection of Kerry and Center Streets in Monrovia. When you are coming to Liberia, the first thing you think about is getting your way in and around the city. Now, you don't need to worry about that because LIB Executive Shuttle has that covered for you. We have our luxury private and share ride options, scheduled airport services, business or corporate travel, daily rental in and around Monrovia. Or if you want to take a trip to Kakata, Ganta, Buchanan, Banga, LIB Executive Shuttle got you. Our excursion packages include trips to Patawi Waterfalls, Sunset Beach, or Wuka Farms. We are located after Carver Mission Junction, RRA Road, Pinsville, Monrovia, Liberia. For inquiries, call cell numbers 0770 072 614 or 0770 072 613. Better still, call our USAID number on 001 301 750 1336. LIB Executive Shuttle. Let us do the driving for you. They say a home is where the heart is. That's why at Emerald Suites, we provide a conducive and safe environment for your long and short-term stay. With our 6 fully furnished luxurious apartments of 3 bedrooms each, our customers have the option of renting a full apartment or single bedroom. We also have standard rooms and king suites. At Emerald Suites, we have 24-hour electricity, cold and hot water, cable TV, internet service, and fully air-conditioned rooms. Mero Suites takes the pressure off its customers with our fully equipped kitchens, living and dining rooms, as well as balconies. All you need is your personal belongings and enjoy your stay. We are located on Silver Beach Road in Dwazan, Lower Margibi. For reservation, call our US number 610-986-1077 and our LIB number on 0777 588 118. You can email us at edithwaters111@gmail.com. Melrose Suites, a home away from home.
Another banger, baby, calm down.
Pinter One of Delaware. Yes, it's Pinter One of Delaware, the name that counts when you talk quality painting works. For more than 2 decades, Pinter One has brought more life and vigor to thousands of residential and commercial complexes with our quality painting services. Give your homes, offices, bars, stores, hospitals, shops, etc. that look they deserve by choosing Pinter One of Delaware. For more information, call us on phone number 302-508-3034. Again, 302-508-3034. Or visit our website at pinter1.com/Delaware. Or better still, email us on ivan@pinter1.com or holly@pinter1.com. Schedule a free estimate and get 10% off by using the promo code Costa. Pinter One of Delaware. Renew your space, renew your life.
She dey give me small, small, I know.
Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency is the name that counts when you talk quality and affordable insurance services. Located in central New Jersey, Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency provides homeowner insurance, commercial and business insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, and a lot more. We partner with over 20 top-rated companies to ensure we provide affordable pricing and quality services to our clients. Not only that, we also offer free financial planning consultation, and we are licensed in 20 states across the USA. At Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency, our staff are well trained to handle all your insurance needs. Visit our website on www.pmassinsurance.com or call us on phone number 609-571-3037. That's 609-571-3037. Peter Massaquoi Insurance Agency, your low-cost insurance partner.
Do you need a car?
Ready for an upgrade?
Then come to Sika Motors, sole distributors of Toyota vehicles, Mitsubishi vehicles, and Yamaha motorbikes, genuine accessories and spare parts.
You name it, we have it. We have the 2022 brands of Toyota vehicles. Select from our new Toyota Starlight,
Toyota Belter, Toyota Rush.
We've got the best deal in town through our Sika Motors financing schemes with selected banks, EcoBank Liberia and UBA Liberia, starting at the lowest as 500 USD. You won't believe these prices. Come for quality, reliability, and durability. Take a spin and let's make a deal.
Sika Motors on the UN Drive at Sailtown, Bushra Island, or call Sika Motors on +231 775 987 758 or email cmarketing@cfao.com. Sika Motors, drive with confidence.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you. Good morning, boy guy. Good morning, boy guy.
Yeah, good morning, Costa. You are coming in a little low. You have to speak through the microphone.
Yeah. How is it now?
Yeah, much better now.
All right. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, the first day of the week, well, the first working day of the week. Sunday is actually the first day of the week, even though it's a little confusing for people, but that's what it is. It is what it is. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends where you are in the world. We're very glad to be here. Today is the 18th of July, 2022. The time in Monrovia is 10:29. A few seconds to hit 10:30 a.m. The time in Delaware on the eastern seaboard of the United States is 6:29. A few seconds to make it 6:30. We're very glad to be here. Thank you for joining us as usual. Good morning. What's up, Wakai? How was your weekend?
Well, thank God it was all about moving from one place to another, but later on ended it with Momin. There's this tournament hosted by the Muslims in Mandingo in Jacobstown called the Kabila tournament. We were invited there yesterday to go and at least grace the occasion. So we climaxed the weekend there yesterday. But it was all about family and friends, so it was okay.
That's very good. That's it's a football tournament.
Yeah, it's a football tournament. Make the last names like the Camara, the Connens, the Abilities. I mean, every last name having their own team. So
Ah,
yeah. So yesterday the Abilities were defeated.
is that ability connected to Musa ability?
No, I beg you. I said abilities.
Oh, so you don't necessarily have to be from the same family, but just the same last name.
Yeah, the last name. So
Okay.
everybody coming together, like the Camaras. The Camaras are embedded with the Sumangulu, the Diakite, and Kalasco, the Damaros. They all come together and fall underneath the Camara. So it's just like that.
That's good. That's
Mhm.
that's very very good. Uh, so that's very good. Yeah, well, my weekend was not bad. On Saturday, what did we do? The JMB TAC team. We had some events out in Philadelphia and at the Limburg football field. So we went there in the morning at first. So the rest of the guys practice. They have the normal Saturday practice. Thereafter, we went to we went to grab something to eat, and then we came back, and then of course um, the games began. Just trying to create awareness. The tag team people set it up. Yes, Steven Johnson and Lyman Yunton and the rest of the guys, they did a great job. I just went there to support, give my support. We had fun. I met some people for the first time, as usual. I met some big supporters of ours, very big supporters everywhere we go. It's just incredible. Met some really, really amazing people, and I had a good time. I played 3 games of checkers. I hadn't played checkers in years, many, many years.
I was a little antsy. I wasn't too sure I would, but I won 3 games, and then I should have left the seat. I should have given it up, but then some guy came, and that guy had the biggest brag to carry around. I beat Costa, so he won the 4th game. But it was fun. We had a very good time, and shout out to all the guys I met. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, we're just trying to create all this publicity and all this support and trying to, for the Joseph Walker train. That's all we're trying to do. So, folks, welcome. Good to be here. Good to have you here. If you're looking to purchase a vehicle and you're in Liberia and you're thinking, I can't afford a brand new vehicle, you're mistaken. You should look up Sika Motors Liberia. You might be able to get a good deal on different types of Toyota vehicles. Different types, sedans, SUVs, and they have they do payment plan arrangements with selected banks. So you might have a payment arrangement that you could have a monthly payment of as low as $500, $500 a month. So check them out. Sika Motors, the sole distributor of quality, durable Toyota vehicles in Liberia. Thank you so much. Today is a beautiful day, like every day we see. It's a beautiful day. So we're glad to be here. And yes, Michael Bobby Boo, I saw you Friday night. Yeah. It was very nice running into you at Pepperfish. Shout out to Pepperfish Bar and Grill. We went there in Southwest Philly, had a good time. Very nice running into you. In fact, I recognized you at first. Good to be here, folks. So our government has signed a deal, a brand new lobbying deal. It's not even a month old. They signed it last month, the 24th of June. I have the deal here, and we will be talking about it. For 900,000 United States dollars, okay, to lobby for the government. 900,000 USD at the rate of 75,000 US dollars a month. That's a monthly fee, excluding other expenses, other necessary expenses that might arise. And you're wondering, but the government has previously signed lots and lots and lots of other lobbying deals. So why did they sign this one? And the deal is specifically to help the government communicate with the United States government. They're having trouble. In Liberia, they tell you that everything is all right between them and the Americans, right? When the American ambassador goes and plays basketball with George Weah, they tell you everything is hunky-dory, as the Americans would say. But then in America, they are signing big deals with the Americans to lobby for them. Now, this deal was signed with a guy called Brian Ballard. Brian Ballard was the most powerful lobbyist in Washington, D.C. when Donald Trump was president. In fact, he was called Trump's lobbyist. There is an article on him in Politico, this newspaper or magazine called Politico, based out here in the U.S. And there's a big article, Trump's lobbyist. Oh, the Bakari Sellers deal was nothing. Bakari Sellers is a nobody compared to Brian Ballard. You should look Brian Ballard up. Brian Ballard used to work magic when Trump was president. Magic. In 2019, this article by Quaz Africa, Nigeria's main opposition party has signed up $1 million Trump lobbyist ahead of 2019 elections. The former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, who has run for president unsuccessfully many times. In 2019, he hired Brian Ballard, the very same Brian Ballard that the Liberian government has now hired for $900,000, was hired by Atiku Abubakar for $1.1 million a year. Now, why did Atiku hire Brian Ballard in 2019? Who was president of America in 2019? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Who was Brian Ballard? If you're wondering how his last name is spelled, let me spell his full name for you. It's Brian, B-R-I-A-N. Brian, the last name is spelled B-A-L-L-A-R-D. Brian Ballard. Atiku signed Brian Ballard so that Brian Ballard would help him come to the United States. Atiku Abubakar had run into trouble with the Americans. He solicited and collected millions of dollars in bribe, in kickback, from German telecoms manufacturer, Siemens. Siemens paid Atiku millions of dollars in bribe. The stupid son of a swine decided to move the bribe money to stash it up in an American bank in New Jersey. The U.S. Senate conducted hearings into Atiku's solicitation and collection of bribe from Siemens. What did they do? They found Atiku, they found the bribe money in Buakai, and guess what? They decided to institute sanctions against Atiku Abubakar. They brought sanctions, travel ban, including other treasury or financial sanctions. Since that time, Buakai, Atiku Abubakar could not travel to the United States of America. That's what they did to Atiku. Buakai. Now, when Atiku was running for president in 2019, some of his people came up with the idea, look, let's hire Donald Trump's most powerful lobbyist, Brian Ballard. He works magic in Washington, D.C. So they hired Brian Ballard for $1.1 million. Brian Ballard was able to get the Trump administration to grant a temporary waiver of the sanctions against Atiku in order to allow Atiku to secure or obtain a U.S. visa to travel to the United States with a delegation on the basis that Atiku was about to become president of the largest African country in which the U.S. government has strategic, economic, and political interests. And so it would be in the national security interest of the United States to allow Atiku a waiver to come to the United States. And Buakai, it was done. That is how Atiku Abubakar, after years of not being able to travel to the United States, was able to get a U.S. visa to come to America, not only to come to America, but guess what? He met with the Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, and he met with some congressional leaders. Okay, this is what Brian Ballard used to be able to do when Donald Trump was what? President. But Brian Ballard can no longer do those things because his guy, Trump, is no longer president. Now, as part of the deal with Atiku, they had to take out several rooms at the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C., which Donald Trump recently sold. He sold the lease. So you see here, yes, he paid Brian Ballard all that money to come, to get him to come to the U.S., but he also had to pay all the rooms they took. They took them at Trump's hotel so that Trump would make some money too from Atiku. So this is what Brian Ballard used to be able to do. Now, this is the guy that our guys have gone ahead and secured. Now, when they did the deal, some of the local, oh man, the newspapers, man, it's just bad. They wrote some terrible stories. So one newspaper wrote this story: Ballard Partners backs $900,000 pact, Liberia pact. That means the agreement. That's the headline of this newspaper article. And the story reads: Ballard Partners has signed Liberia to help that corruption-plagued African nation. What?
Corruption-plagued.
Corruption-plagued. This Liberia is plagued with corruption. That corruption-plagued African nation communicate with U.S. government officials, businesses, and NGOs. Look at the way that this newspaper refers to Liberia. They say, what kind of country are we, Boakai?
Corruption plagued.
A corruption-plagued African nation. Hey! Imagine that. This other newspaper, what does it write? After Strum is another firm. Samuel Twe and Frank Musadin solicit ballot partners also to lobby for Liberia in the USA. Yeah, there you go. As I said to you, the deal was signed when? The deal was signed on the 24th of June. I have the contract here. We will go into it, and I'll read a little bit of the contract so you know the terms of the contract. On April the 2nd, 2018, Politico, a U.S. magazine in the United States, carried a story titled, "The Most Powerful Lobbyist in Trump's Washington, Brian Ballard." That's him right here. That's how powerful Brian Ballard was. But he no longer is as powerful as he once was, because his guy, Trump, is no longer.
Yeah, because so that was my point I was coming to. Can he make the change that they really need now as government? Because when he was there, or when Trump was there as president, they didn't reach out to him, or they didn't make this particular agreement.
No, they didn't do with Brian Ballard, then they dealt with some other people who were not as important. But anyway, look at, let me go to the contract. Contract for services. This contract is entered into between the government of Liberia, the client, in parentheses, the Honorable Samuel D. Twe Jr., Minister of Finance and Development Planning, P.O. Box 10916, Broad and Mecklin Streets, 1000 Liberia and 1000 Monrovia, Liberia. And Ballard Associates Incorporated, the firm, in parentheses, 601 13th Street, Northwest Suite, 450 North, Washington, D.C., 20005. Recitals. Let's get into the agreement. Whereas the client wishes to retain the services of the firm in order that the firm may provide strategic consulting and advocacy services to the government of Liberia in connection with its business with the United States government, and whereas the firm wishes to provide such representation as the client may from time to time require, and whereas the parties have agreed to the terms under which the firm will represent the client and wish to memorialize the agreement in writing. Now, therefore, in consideration of the mutual covenants herein contained, and intending to be legally bound hereby, the parties agree as follows. Terms or term of agreement. This agreement shall become effective on June 24, 2022, and shall remain effective until June 23, 2023. It's for 1 year, the initial term. This agreement shall automatically renew for successive 1 year periods on the anniversary of the effective date of the agreement, unless either party terminates the agreement. Upon the renewal of the initial term, this agreement may be terminated within 30 days written notice by either party. Duties of the firm. This is what the firm is supposed to do for the government of Liberia. Listen, it shall be the firm's duty to consult with the client and advocate on its behalf those issues the client deems necessary and appropriate before the United States federal government. Issues and objectives may include, but are not limited to, enhancing U.S. government of Liberia bilateral relations, developing trade, investment, and business opportunities, It shall further be the firm's duty to inform the client of developments in legislation and policy relevant to the client's issues and objectives. Well, this last part, what it means is that the firm should be our eyes and our ears in DC. Every time they hear of something about to happen to the government of Liberia, they should come and tell the government, essentially be our chichi puli. What they coming to the Liberia? Okay, tell us ahead of time. That's the last part. That's essentially what it means. Duties of the client. This is what Liberia is supposed to do. It shall be the client's duty to provide the firm the information necessary to best represent the client. It shall also be the client's duty to timely compensate the firm for its services. Compensation, interesting part. This is the part that deals with how much we're paying a ballot partner.
For the 1 year.
Yeah, for the 1 year. Compensation. The firm shall receive from the client a fee of $75,000 a month.
Look at that. What? A month?
Yes, I'm going to go back there. Compensation. The firm shall receive a fee of $75,000 a month.
Okay.
Payable in quarterly installments for this agreement. Plus, the reasonable costs associated with the representation, including but not limited to necessary registration fees and travel expenses, such as overseas hotel, airfare, car services, and meals, excluding costs typically associated with the operation of an office, such as overhead, staff, and equipment. So, excluding overhead, staff, equipment, every other thing they spend, we will pay. If they travel to have a meeting with a senator or a U.S. government official, Liberia will pay for the hotel, we will pay for the airfare or the plane ticket, the meal he will eat during that meeting with that congressman or that official from the State Department, we will pay for the meal for both of the people or all of the people who eat there. The vehicle that they will rent to whichever place they travel to, we will pay for that vehicle.
And
The only thing we will not pay for, now that is excluding the $75,000 a month. The fee of $75,000 is fixed. But all of the other fees we must pay. Now what I say plus the reasonable costs associated with the representation, including but not limited to 1, registration fees, travel expenses such as overseas hotel, airfare, which means plane ticket, car rental services and meals, everything we will pay.
Costa we pay $900,000 a year. You have to know that.
We're paying $900,000 a year, but it could be higher because I just told you. You're paying for the meals. That
whenever they are leaving Liberia to visit the US, we take the responsibility for airfare or local transportation.
No, Baga, you misunderstand. This is for the lobbyists. Whenever they have a meeting on our behalf to discuss Liberia's interests or the government's interests, we will pay for the meal that they will eat while they're having that meeting. If it is lunch, we'll pay for lunch. If they are having dinner, we'll pay for dinner. If they are traveling from one state to another state, we will buy the plane tickets. If they're flying business class, which often they would do, we would pay. Once they're there, they have to rent vehicle. We will pay for the vehicle rental. The accommodation, the hotel that they're staying in, we're going to pay. We will pay for every damn thing. Now, if that meeting doesn't yield any benefit, it doesn't matter. The idea is we will pay.
Yeah, but I understand it now well, but because I know for sure that the government can.
So multiply $75,000 times what? Times 12, because the deal is for 1 year.
Yeah, that's 900,000.
Times 12, that's 900,000. But it's not 900,000. I just told you, you will pay for hotel. You will pay for feeding, meals. You will pay for vehicle rental. You will pay for air tickets. Every single time they travel, every single time they have a lunch in DC with a congressperson, you will pay. You will pay for everything, Bwakai. That is the way it works. You pay for everything. So it's the $75,000, which is the fixed fee, plus additional hotel, meals, vehicle rental, air tickets, everything you are going to pay. So let's say the boys will spend an additional $10,000 a month on hotel, meals, vehicle rental, air tickets. If they travel, they're 75,000 plus 90 plus 10,000 plus 75,000. That's what? That's 85 grand, right? 85 grand, yeah, 85 grand. So the deal will actually be worth over $1 million. We will pay actually over $1 million because all of the other costs. And guess what? There are always those additional expenses. These people will have meetings, and these meetings are held in high-end restaurants, and the restaurants in DC are freaking expensive. If they have 5 meetings, you will pay for all. You will pay for every freaking thing. But what do we get in exchange? Why does the government of Liberia have to pay all this money just so the boys can lobby, can talk to American government officials on our behalf? What is it we get in return? That is the question. How many lobbyists have we not already signed on? What have those lobbyists done for us? We've signed on so many lobbyists. We're still hearing U.S. government people speak very critically of the Liberian government. We're still hearing them make threats of sanctions against government officials. We're still hearing them talk about how badly corrupt the country is. So, Buckeye, what have the lobbyists we've already signed, to whom we've already spent millions of dollars, what dividends have we accrued?
Nothing.
And why are we signing new lobbyists?
Nothing. If there was anything the first lobbyists have done for us, we have the Dean of the Cabinet who can visit the United States of America. We have the president who can go to the United States of America until he's invited for the United Nations program.
That's the only time he comes here.
So what are they doing to help this situation? Those are some of the questions that we should ask. So why are we paying them all of this money, all of the money that we pay them? What are they doing? What are they doing?
That's a good question. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Dean of the Cabinet, the most senior minister in principle, cannot come to America. Our lobbyists have not been able to help with that. Our president has never been invited to any, not even to a community. Not even a local community in America has invited George Weah. The only time George Weah has come to America since he became president in 2018 has been to attend the UN General Assembly. George Weah has never been to Washington, D.C. in 4 years as president. In 4 years. He's never been to D.C. So what do these lobbyists do for us? When they signed Bakari Sellers, they made a lot of news. What did Bakari Sellers bring? Nothing. When they signed the other firm that the former chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee was on, Ed Royce. What did Ed Royce's firm do for us? Nothing. They signed on many other firms. Nothing. Instead, all we hear the Americans, they're bombarding us. The government is corrupt. We will bring sanctions. We will bring sanctions. We will bring sanctions. A group of a congressional committee of senior ranking Democrats and Republicans came up with a joint resolution calling for additional sanctions on Liberia. So you mean all the lobbying efforts have resulted in nothing?
Yeah, but Costa, signing an agreement with somebody is one thing, and living up to the agreement is another thing. You know that. And you know, for the CDC-led government, they don't live up to agreement. For instance, Bakari, you will say you're signing Bakari for, like, let's just say this particular.
They were paying Bakari $10,000 a month.
10,000 a month. I know Samuel Toy, I know McGill, I know the other folks where want to enrich themselves. You think the men would they be taking like 10,000 or 75,000 a month to be wiring it to America, wherein they are not getting no result?
No, they will pay the money. They have to pay the money. But that's not the issue. They will pay the money. But let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is, I thought this is what you would have said, that they're not living up to their end of the bargain. In order for a lobbyist to help you, you have to have a selling point. You have to have a pitch. What is he selling? What is he going to tell the officials in DC about your officials of government in Liberia that they don't already know? These people receive regular reports on corruption, systemic corruption, evidence of corruption. They have it. What are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them that Liberia is an amazing democracy, the president and his people are doing a great job? You think these people are going to believe it? You think they're going to believe it when they hear about millions, $30 million borrowed from the IMF for a COVID relief package, the money stolen? What are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them that the mop-up exercise was a success, $25 million? What are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them that George, we are building mansions left and right when they have his asset declaration and they know that the mansions and the condominiums he's building all over the place don't match his assets? What are you going to tell them? You think the Americans are stupid? So the reason why the lobbyists are not successful in their behalf, in their interest, is because the government makes it tough for the lobbyists. The lobbyists are going up against a mounting pile of evidence of corruption, of abuse of power. That is why the lobbyists cannot succeed, Wakai.
Yeah. Simple term,
give the lobbyists something to work with.
Yeah, simple term, Costa. I have in this cell phone, and I will have to convince Costa to buy the cell phone. I will come to Costa and say, Costa, this phone is an iPhone, and it comes with X, Y, and Z. But now, if I can convince Costa to buy the particular phone, wherein I have been having a lot of problem with, the problem on the phone has been all out in the news, that doesn't make sense.
Precisely. So that's so that's the problem that they are facing. Why aren't the lobbyists working for them? All the money they're spending, it is because there is too much damage that they've done already.
Yeah.
They've done too much damage. The damage is too much. So the lobbyists can't work for them. That is why. The lobbyists are trying. But what's happening? What? Bakari Sellers, I'm told, was the guy who set up the meeting with Senator Lindsay Lohan and Ted Cruz. What did that meeting accomplish?
Nothing.
Nothing. In that meeting, after that meeting, the government told us that Lindsay Lohan has said, wait a minute, Lindsay Lohan, not Lindsay Lohan. Where you cut him? Oh, I'm not messing his name up. That Lindsey Graham. Yeah, Lindsey Graham. Yeah. Senator Lindsey Graham has said, Senator Lindsey Graham has said that he was going to write a letter to the Millennium Challenge Corporation asking them to give Liberia $500 million. That's what Lindsey Graham had promised. Well, can you remember? The government issued a press statement that Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina was going to write he was going to write to the Millennium Challenge Corporation, the MCC, and he was also going to impress upon his colleagues in the Senate to make Liberia's case for $500 million. Do you all recall what we told you about that? We told you it was not going to work. The Millennium Challenge Corporation has nothing to do with a congressman writing or a senator writing to the MCC to say, give Liberia more money. It doesn't work that way. The way it works, you, the country, have to do the work. You must meet the milestones. You must improve. You must demonstrate tangible action that you're fighting corruption. You're fighting to improve the rule of law. You're fighting to improve the ease of doing business in your country. You're fighting to improve the education sector, the healthcare sector, political rights, human rights. Those are the things you do. But they told us that Lindsey Graham was going to write to the U.S., to the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, established by an act of legislation in 2004 under George Bush, to give Liberia $500 million. Those boys went back to Liberia and they were all over the place making noise. Lindsey Graham will write so we can get $500 million. Did they not know that that's not how the MCC gives you money? You have a scorecard. Every nation has a scorecard. You must attain a certain grade. They have 17 or 20 different indicators. You must score, you must pass with a certain mark. If you don't attain that mark, you don't get money. Sierra Leone got additional $400 million. Liberia failed. We failed. Your lobbyists have not been able to tell you what you need to do. It doesn't want anything the lobbyists should tell them. Look, Liberia, this is what you need to do. In order for us to help you get additional funding from the U.S. government through the MCC or through USAID, you must do X, Y, and Z. In order to get the U.S. government to favorably begin to speak about your country, you must do X, Y, and Z. In order for George Weah to have meetings with senior government officials in America, or perhaps possibly meet the American president, you must do X, Y, and Z. But Bwakai, I am pretty sure the lobbyists have been telling them these things, but they have no interest, they have no political will to change anything. They steal, they lie, they do all kinds of terrible things, and they expect the Americans to be smiling with them. That's why it doesn't work. Okay? That's why it doesn't work.
We want to see if this one will get a lot of,
it will bear no fruit.
Your result.
It will bear no fruit. Okay, when is election?
2023.
You hire lobbyists now to help you when the Americans know that elections are next year. How long have they been in power?
For the past 5 years now, going to 6.
5 years going on 6. All the damage you've done in 5 years, you hire lobbyists now. You started hiring seriously, they hired a lot of lobbyists last year. They will not help you. You will achieve nothing in DC. Uncle Sam already knows all your dirt. They know everything. You want the girl. You won't tell a girl you want a girl when the first time you met a girl. The girl now, you're not drag the girl now, you have plenty of bad things about you. Then by the time now you want to go tell the girl you want a girl. But okay. They definitely get all the bad things about you. So it makes it more difficult for you to be able to get the girl, because the girl has heard a lot of bad things about you. So that is our problem. The Americans know everything about us. Everything the government has been doing, the Americans are aware. So my friends in the government, I'm sorry. No lobbyists can help you now. No. And there's another thing. The Americans are very much aware, and they're very unhappy with you, and they've said it on many, many occasions. They never stop saying it, publicly too. Then you want them to help you 1 year to elections. You think the Americans seriously want you guys to win again? The Americans cannot change their position on toward your government right now, because to do so, you would be able, you would run around and say the Americans are supporting us. You would try to use it as a re-election tool. They will not help you. Any radical shift in U.S. government policy on Liberia now would help the government in their re-election efforts. You see, if George Weah starts coming to D.C. to meet with American government officials and to do all of those things, when the government officials start meeting with top U.S. government officials and U.S. government public utterances on Liberia begin to change, the government will use it as a re-election tool. And the Americans will never give you that. Yeah. Let me just tell you this. I know what I know. The Americans will never say anything, will never shift their position on your country now, which they know you would use
in winning 2023. Yeah.
They're not going to help you. So I'm sorry. If you had hired Brian Ballard when Trump was president, perhaps you would have been able to secure a meeting with Trump, because Brian Ballard was able to do the impossible to get Atiku Abubakar, who was investigated by the U.S. Senate, and they slammed him with sanctions, he and his wife, for stashing their loot that they secured, that they collected from Siemens, a German telecommunications magnate. And so they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna help you. Brian Ballard cannot help you right now, because his guy is no longer president of the United States. Trump is not president. So I'm very sorry. Let me do the shout out for Dr. Best and Dr. Rubin at the Catholic Hospital. You guys are fine doctors serving humanity. We thank you and appreciate you for your noble service to humanity on the medical front. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Best and Dr. Rubin. Now, we're going to go to the phone lines and take some calls. But before we do, I just want to say this. You know, as we often say, Bwakai, first impression is so important. It is extremely important. When you miss out on the opportunity to impress people when you first encounter them, my brother, It is difficult to even get another opportunity to try to impress them. And then when you've made a lot of mess, when they are aware that you've made a lot of mess, it's difficult. This is the first Liberian president who has not had an official visit to the United States in 5 years. Samuel Canyon Doe visited the US, I think 1981 or 1982. An official visit to the White House, met with President Ronald Reagan. There is that video. It's there, out there on YouTube. Look it up. Samuel K. Doe, he was not even president. Master Sergeant Doe, head of state, had a visit with President Ronald Reagan. Doe. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, tons of visits to the US, met the American presidents multiple times. I mean, Obama, as well as, what's the other fellow's name? Even Trump. Well, she didn't officially meet Trump, but they ran into each other. But George Weah, forget Charles Taylor, he was a pariah. Forget him. Skip him. George Weah is supposedly democratically elected president. Is supposedly a supposed grassroots president. Has never been to America other than to attend the UN General Assembly. Look, Gaddafi used to come to the UN General Assembly. The pariah leader of, the former leader of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who was not a favorite of the Americans, used to come to attend the UN General Assembly. If the likes of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and Muammar Gaddafi and all those people can come to attend the UN General Assembly. So the UN General Assembly is nothing. When you come to the UN General Assembly, you are not even coming to America. You're coming to the UN. George Weah, in his 5 years in office, yes, Robert Mugabe. Mugabe was not a favorite of the Americans, yet Mugabe used to attend the UN General Assembly, stand up there and blast them. Our man, George Weah, president of a country founded by free American slaves, thanks to funds allocated by the United States Congress under the ACS. We have special traditional ties with the Americans, yet our man has not been able to come to Washington, D.C. Forget meeting Trump or meeting Biden, but George Weah has not been invited to speak even at a think tank in D.C. He's not been invited to speak at a community hall in Minnesota. Nobody, no organization in America in 5 freaking years has invited George Weah to come to America. Nobody. No speaking engagement. Do you know how many times Ellen spoke at commencement ceremonies as keynote speaker?
Lots.
She spoke at Harvard once, spoke at many other schools. I mean, all over the U.S. Do you know how many times? This guy was just here last year. The president of Sierra Leone, the next door guy, Julius Matabio. Matabio spoke at Harvard the last time. If I'm not mistaken, he was commencement speaker. But when was the last time they ever invited George Weah to America? Never. Does that not ring a bell? Does that not ring a bell? You started off on a terribly bad note. You were inaugurated in office in January 2018. By March 2018, you began to demolish your property to build mansions in this place. And the Americans were seeing that. You started flying private jets all over the place. Everywhere where you could get an invite, you would go. So the problem is the Americans don't want to see you. They don't want to have any dealing with George Weah. Is that not clear to you? Let me also ask you something. If you understand the dynamics of geopolitics, you, George Weah, when Ellen was president, do you think the Americans didn't know that Prince Johnson was a warlord and that he was in the Senate and he was chair on the Senate Defense Committee? The Americans knew that. The Americans worked with Prince Johnson even then. But when you became president, that is when the Americans started saying, oh no, we don't want to work with Prince Johnson. He's a warlord. As long as Prince Johnson is chair of the defense committee, we will have nothing to do with the AFL. We cannot work through Prince Johnson or work with Prince Johnson. The Americans started saying, okay, Prince Johnson, we're going to sanction him. Did you hear the Americans bring any sanctions against any government official when Ellen was president? They did not do that. Did you hear the American officials make any noise about sanctions or about war crimes court or ending the culture of impunity in Liberia? No, they did not do that. Did you hear the American ambassador openly criticizing Liberian government official about corruption in the country? No, they did not do that. When Ellen was president, did you hear the Americans did you hear that a number of a bipartisan congressional team led by the chairman of the very powerful Foreign Affairs Committee in the House, which is currently chaired by the first black man to hold that position, Gregory Meeks of the 5th Congressional District of New York? Did you hear them say anything about a resolution calling on the U.S. Department of State and the Department of the Treasury to bring more sanctions, economic sanctions, visa restrictions on the U.S., on government officials? Did you hear when Ellen was president, did you hear a U.S. ambassador writing an op-ed and talking about what Joseph Jingeraba would say if they brought sanctions? What Joseph Jingeraba would say if they did that, if they did this? Did you hear that? Never.
Nope.
The Americans don't like you, George Weah. They don't like you. And the reason they don't like you is because you don't like yourself. The Americans don't like George Weah. Period.
I would see some of the government officials when they are invited for program at the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. ambassador pay visit to them at their offices. You'll see them taking photos. The U.S. Liberia relationship is in full swing. Blah blah blah. That's
the U.S. Liberia relationship. You have great relations with the U.S., right? Why are you hiring more lobbyists? Every other day you're hiring lobbyists. Why? The Americans don't like you. And nothing will change that. They will not be favorable to you. Well, people often say, "Oh, Weah will cheat in the elections," and the Americans the Americans, when they don't like you, they will never stand with you. Let me tell you what these Americans do. It's called the hypocrisy, the diplomacy of hypocrisy. The Americans play the diplomacy of hypocrisy only when they have strategic interest in you. That's what they do. They know Saudi Arabia, it's a terrible country. It's not a democracy. Women aren't allowed to drive or to go out on their own without being chaperoned or escorted by a male relative. But they tolerate that. They turn a blind eye because Saudi Arabia has a lot of oil that they need. And in Saudi Arabia, it helps to, it helps the balance of power and keep certain terrible countries at bay in the Middle East. So they're cool with Saudi Arabia. They were cool with several other dictators from Nigeria. Abacha. They knew Abacha was a terrible guy. They knew Abacha did a lot of terrible things. But they turned a blind eye because Nigeria at the time, I don't know what they ranked now, was the 4th largest oil exporter. Nigeria was huge in terms of oil exploration. Before Angola, I think Angola knocked them out and became number 4, and now Nigeria should be number 5. But what I'm telling you is the Americans will not turn a blind eye to you when you are no strategic interest to them. They will never turn a blind eye. That is what I call the diplomacy of hypocrisy. They will play the game of hypocrisy. They will ignore the excesses and the bad deals in one country, but they will not do it in your country when they have nothing to gain from you. Paul Kagame. The Americans tolerate Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame is a great leader. He's popular in this country, but he is a despot. His opposition people get missing. His critics get missing. Their bodies get found in the swamp. But the Americans tolerate Paul Kagame because Paul Kagame is a very strong guy in that region. He is a major U.S. ally fighting terrorism. So Paul Kagame is very important to the Americans. So the Americans will look at the excesses of Paul Kagame, they will turn a blind eye. Because also on the other front, Paul Kagame has been able to take Rwanda. We saw 800,000 people slaughtered in a space of 3 months in 1994, he's turned a little country around with 2 tribes. He's made it a bustling economic hub that's doing extremely well. But what are you doing? What are your positives? There are no positives to you. Now, look at Uganda also. Do you think the Americans not know that this Salamaswan old man, Yoweri Museveni, who's been in power since 1987, do you think they like him? They don't like Yoweri Museveni. But Yoweri Museveni is an ally of the Americans in the fight against terrorism. And so the Americans have never bothered Museveni. Museveni has been there for so long, they never bother him. Museveni makes all the big noise. Museveni grabs his opponents, he beats them, he puts them in jail, he kills some of them. Nothing, nada, zero. The Americans have not done to him. Until the day when you cease to be of strategic interest to U.S. national security interests, or you are no longer of interest to them, the Americans will no longer support you. But as long as you remain strategically important to them, they will turn a blind eye. They will support you. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Why? Ellen was able to spin the story. Ellen was able to get the whole world to think that, first of all, the novelty of the fact that she was the first woman to be democratically elected president in all of Africa. That in itself, with her Western American acculturation, she knew how to play the game. She had all these American friends, George Soros and all the other people. She came here, she went to school here in America, she lived here for a while. And so the Americans use Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They use her to become a poster child for their so-called democratization of Africa. And they use her. And a champion of democracy, the strong woman, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So they were able to turn to look another way. They looked away from the corruption that they knew was happening in the country. They looked away from so many things. Privately, they were not happy, but publicly, they raised her. And as long as she kept giving them what they wanted, she supported them in everything. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had just gone to see Muammar Gaddafi. Ellen was good friends with Muammar Gaddafi. But when the Americans made the decision that they were going to invade Libya, who was the first African leader to publicly call on Gaddafi to step down from power?
Ellen.
Where did she do it? In London.
Even though Gaddafi have promised to reconstruct the Ducal Palace Hotel.
Gaddafi have promised so many things. But by the time the Americans took a decision to invade Libya, to topple Gaddafi, the first person to call for Gaddafi to leave power was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
Yep.
She didn't even make that speech in Liberia. She spoke to the BBC in London. I recall very well. Everything the Americans wanted, Ellen gave them. In ECOWAS, at the African Union, Ellen was a representative of not Liberia, of the United States. But George Weah, you are unsophisticated. You can't even read. You don't understand the dynamics. You don't understand geopolitics. Yeah, you were the other day in Nimba saying that a company owned by a bunch of Russian oligarchs saw away that they are your interest. Whereas ArcelorMittal is a company owned by Americans and British citizens. Which nationality you think Lakshmi Mittal has? Lakshmi Mittal is an Indian citizen as well as a British citizen. Where does he live? He lives in London. Acila. It used to be Mittal Steel, but now it's ArcelorMittal. Acila is a French steel company. A few years ago, Mittal Steel acquired them and they became known as ArcelorMittal. So Acila is French owned. They have American owners, they have French owners, and they have British owners. And whereas Solway Mining, which is illegally encroaching upon ArcelorMittal's concession area, is owned by a bunch of Russians. Russians with ties to Putin's inner circle. And George Weah stands up there in the public and says they are my interest. Solway money is my interest. This boy is bereft of any appreciation of global, of geopolitics, the dynamics, the intricacies and the complexities of geopolitics. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it. And you make those utterances, and the Americans say, okay, so you prefer the Russians to British, to French, and to American ownership. And then you're hiring lobbyists in DC and thinking they will help you. You're wasting your time. Well, let's go to the phone lines and take some calls then. Let's go to the lines and take some calls. You're wasting your time. The Americans will never help you.
All right, folks. The phone lines are open 0770-102-102, 0886-010-383, 555-102-102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624 Coming up on the following numbers, and you will be live on the show this morning. We are paying $75K a month just for lobbyists in the United States of America. That money we could be using
more than $75K anyway. But go on, boy. Let's take some calls.
Yeah, so the phone lines are open. Coming up this morning and be live with us. If you are there in the US or some part of the world, call me on WhatsApp +231 888 624 Look, okay, let's take this person here quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Baka.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to Henry Pedro Costa. This is DJ Lome. Thank you very much this morning, Henry. That morning, the people paying over there, they should have given it to the people defender here for them to eat it. Because the American will never help them. Every time they got people in America, we always tell them, say they steal it from the Liberian people. Look at the money they share in Ganta and just for who know how many millions of dollars they carry there. And the government printing they are printed the higher money, saying that go up on there. They just printing money every time for campaign, what they just print money and just waste it on the market. Then you spending that money. Why should you go to the people defender that defending you here every day? Because the American will not help you. You not even go there, the people know that you can steal. Nothing else you can do for the country yet. And they will never accept your second time of re-election. So the only thing they can do now, let it just forget about that thing and start wasting money over there. But the money they put carrying, maybe they put in the president. When they get 75K or 90K, then they take out their own and they get more and they know. And they said they have a lobby that want to talk for them. What the lobby there? Saying that they said the men will come here, they were making Moriah on spoon talk. Where the lobby we ever come to Liberia, they just wasting our money and they just wasting their time. They just decide to waste the Liberian money. Thank you for the information this morning, my brother. God bless our country and save our state.
Thank you so much. Now take this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, boy. My name is Stanley.
Welcome. You're live.
I don't know what's wrong with the president yet, but just the other day I was talking to some of the sedition. One of my good friends who supported Weir. The man was just talking bad about the president. I said, but my man, we're not. The president get the country at heart. He said, yeah. That's why we want to take it from him. Hard come 2023 before him. That will the country, then there will be no more country to live in again. So we'll see. That's how 2023 go, if they're ready, serious or not.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's take another person.
They want to
Yeah, they make
Good morning. Of the Jerry Dobie, I'm calling from Worcester, Mass.
Welcome.
For me, the government, Liberian government, they need to blame themselves. They are their own problem. There's a saying, they say you can't hide your nakedness from the bathing bucket. So they're making things hard for themselves. I hear people complaining the opposition is making things hard for the government. The government is making things hard for themselves. So they're just wasting their time. Yeah, if you want to get a typical example, you're going to be good with that gear. But where people complaining, the guy is a bad fellow, then your attitude begin to display it in front of the guy. The guy will quit for you. That what Liberian government doing. So they have their own problem.
Okay, thank you. Let's take this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, BK Kamara. This is the religious advisor to the Costa Show. I'm Sigajibo Chineka. I call from Banazio.
Welcome, Sigajibo.
Good morning, leader.
Morning, my brother.
Yes, to fight for somebody who don't have strength physically is difficult, and this government corruption has made this government to be very weak, and they don't have the strength to fight politically. So I don't know how the lobbyists are going to lobby for them, because how can you lobby for a regime where the president will place a call to Freedom FM and say that my minister is not corrupt, it's just a mere allegation? So the tangibles are there that you cannot be defended because your own action has made you to look ugly to the international community. But my leader, I can only say thank you to you for your show. Always we keep listening to you, and I appreciate you ever so much. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, my
The
brother.
pastor to the Costa Show, Sekachipo, Jenekai. The phone lines are still open. 0770-102-102, 86 01038355102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888
Is it
Good morning.
the deal? Somebody just asked what happened to the deal with Bakari?
Christoph calling from Kim Johnson Road.
Welcome, my brother. Go ahead, make your contribution.
I think Minister Sanders and McGee, they are the problem because George, we are hearing, I think George is interested in meeting going to Washington. McGee is the one who trying to get him to go to Washington. So I think it's all a failed plan because they only got a few months to the election. So I think it won't be successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have one year to campaign will open in campaign normally opens in August. So we're in July. We just passed the middle of July. So in 11 months, in 13 months from now, we will be in campaign. The 2023 general and presidential elections will begin in August. The campaign will officially commence at that time. Yeah, it will be something. The government people have millions of dollars to spend, but can money really win the election when you are unpopular with the people? Can money really win? Nope. We saw that with Thomas Fowler. We saw that with Polita Weed. Money cannot win when you are very, very much unpopular. When the people are suffering as they are, no amount of money can help you win. It does not work. It will never work unless you change the way you behave. Unfortunately for them, they don't have the time to do it. It is late, boy guy. You mess up for 5 years. That in a 6th year you will change. It is late. You went for cabinet retreat, so-called cabinet retreat. And each ministry and agency was allotted 5 minutes to speak. Is that enough? 5 minutes to give a report and maybe talk about their action plan for the following year?
5 minutes, 5 years, 1 minute per year.
That's absolute nonsense. So nothing will help you. It's late now. It's over. I don't know why they think they can win again. I don't see the pathway. You used to get 35% of your votes from Maserati County. That is what sustained CDC politically. The county that made CDC was Maserati County. We took it from you in 2019. And you said it was a mistake. CDCians were unhappy. You were going to bring them back. 2020, 1 year later, we beat you even by an even bigger margin. So now the county that used to give you almost half of your votes, you have lost that county. Now, if you had lost it just by a small margin, it would be, you could say, okay, fine, it's still not bad. But you've lost Monserrato County by such a terribly wide margin. The margin between Delon and Thomas Panga Fala in 2020 Senate election was 100%. Delon has 65 or 66% of the votes, and Thomas Panga Fala had 35% of the votes. Look at that margin. How do you get it back? Have things in the country improved since the 2020 Senate elections? No. For the first time, CDC lost a seat in Grand Jide, of all places. Grand Jita is the real stronghold of CDC. If you look at it proportionally, well, not in terms of the total number of votes, because Grand Jita is very, very small in terms of votes, but Grand Jita, proportionally, percentage-wise, we are one Grand Jita every time since 2005, every election, but the highest margin in the country. But in 2022, you lost an election in Grand Jita. When did they have the election? It was December, yeah. December 2021, you lost an election in Grand Jita. In Zwedru, of all places, the capital city, Zuluweski. Madison Guyon beat Jeremiah Sokan, the CDC candidate. It was unheard of. It was unimaginable. It was unthinkable. It was impossible, but it happened. What do you think is happening to you? You are losing left and right. You are afraid to put up candidates on your own party ticket. You are hiding in the corner and supporting candidates with money. And when those candidates, by hook or crook, when they win, then they come join you. You did it with Simeon Taylor. You gave him some money, he ran, he won, then he came and joined you. Now you went behind Joseph Jala. You gave him some money, now he joined you. That's how you win now? You can't even see people on CDC ticket. 2023, they're not put Joey on the ticket now. Since CDC is so damaged, it's so tinted, they don't put CDC, don't put Joey on CDC ticket. Let Joey go independent. Because now you are afraid to even put candidates on your own ticket. And you know why you can't put candidates on your own ticket. In Nimba, you're afraid to put up a candidate. Every by-election all over the place, except for the one in Grand Jita, you put up a candidate, you lost. Every by-election, almost every by-election since you came to power, you have not been putting up candidates on your own tickets because you are afraid that you might lose. And you are right in that calculation. Because you know why? You are so unpopular. You have done so many wrongs to the Liberian people and continue to do. That is why you cannot win on your own. Then you sit on there, you say you can beat us. You cannot beat us. We don't need all the money you have. All the money you have. CDC never used to send buses to bring the partisans to the headquarters whenever they have rallies. The partisans used to walk. We used to see them walking from our office. Our radio station right on Ashmore Street.
Yep.
Overlooking the Gabriel Tucker Bridge or the new bridge. We used to see CDC walking from Sony Wen, from Gibraltar, from Nuku Town, from Douala. They used to be marching. They used to make their own T-shirts in their communities, in their neighborhoods. Today, CDC is producing T-shirts and giving it to their partisans. We never used to see that before. CDC never used to recruit partisans to join them. Today, CDC is paying money to people to join them. CDC was so arrogant, so cocky, that they never went after anybody to join them. Today, CDC is using money to get people to join their party. What is happening to you? It is the outcome of the way you are governing the country. That is the reason why you are so unpopular. The way you're governing the country. CDC paying money to Simeon Freeman to join their party. CDC paying money to Glebo Brown. CDC paying money. You all over the place. You're spending money for people to join you. It never used to happen. CDC now sends big bosses to bring the partisans. The partisans are no longer enthusiastic to walk for miles to go to the headquarters. CDC party headquarters, when they used to have events, you could never see the sand in the ground. On the grounds of the headquarters, you could never see the sand because there was no space, there was no land. It was covered up in human beings. Today, when they gather at the headquarters, the small number of people, they practically beg to bring in buses and give them money to pay their way or give them money for lunch. Guess what they do now? They will bring the crowd. They will gather the crowd in front of the stage and take pictures from certain slanted angles to create the impression that the headquarters is crowded. But yet you can still see the expanse of land unoccupied. You have been exposed. It is over. But man say, And the reason why you are like this is because of the way you're governing the country and you refuse to change. You do not want to change. You want to have your cake and eat it. You want to continue to do wrong things and to have the people support you. It is not happening. And yet, you still nurturing the thing. Oh, yeah, and we can make it. We can make it. You tell the people, say, the party is supreme. The party remains supreme. The people are supreme. The people don't see themselves factor in your agenda. They don't see the benefits. So they are tired. They are finished. Let's go to the lines, Baga. Let's take a few more calls there.
All right, 0770-102-102-86, 010383555 102-102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Now take this person on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Borkai. This is Ami. I just wanted to get like what Costa was just speaking to. I don't know the slogan, if that's a slogan for Jawia government, the part that he said Liberia will not be a spectators in their own country. Because if like he was talking about the Astra with the deal with the other people the last time, the other people don't have any operation in Liberia. Astra got operation in Liberia that gives Liberians jobs. And if you would go over them and they rehabilitated the real, you will go over them and give that contract to somebody else who don't have any operation, who don't hire your people because they bribe you $10 million. Then you think you got Liberian people a lot hard and you wanted to celebrate you and vote for you the next election. Do you know what will happen when Amsterdam is having to get out of Liberia? How many people will lose jobs? And you just want to give railroad to somebody to just come and be passing through, and then you passing around talking about Liberia will not be spectators in our own country. I want to know what that statement means, or it's just a slogan for his government. It doesn't make any sense. And these people that they can be paid 2 cents to go be standing and be lying, the person is doing well, the person is doing this, they're fooling here. Like you said, they go in the booth and then they vote differently.
Okay.
And it knows that.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, my dear.
Making
you made some very good points. It is a slogan. They don't mean it. Liberian will not be spectators in their own country is a slogan. When he said it back then, he said it to mean that Liberians would be given access to opportunities so that they can succeed at business. But it is not true. All the contracts are given to foreigners and crooks who are close to them. It is not true. It's a lie. Liberians are indeed spectators. In fact, we're not even spectators, my sister. We are actually outside the stadium. We're not even on the field. We're outside.
Right. Let's take this person on the line. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Boaga. You?
Yeah, your name, are you calling us from?
Good morning, Boaga. I'm calling from Minnesota. Michelle, my name. According to the issue, I want you guys to know that CDC has never lost the percentage in North Carolina before. CDC has always maintained that 33% up before in North Carolina. They have never lost the percentage in North Carolina. Secondly, if a man works for a person and that person is cheap, you expect that person to get benefit. Those days for city, those days you expect citizens to work. Right now, citizens are no more going to work. There's the time for the citizen government to pay those people who suffer for the past 12 years. That's the reason why we're collecting budget oil to make sure our people come on. There will be no more time for our people.
Thank you. Let's take this other person. Good morning.
Good morning, Bogai. Good morning, Costa. This is Hassan Umaru Dugle calling from the 10,000 Lake of Minnesota.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Costa, my contribution just have to do with when you talk about lobbyists. You know, one of my instructors always used to tell me, people Remy Dor if they refuse to learn from their mistake. This is not the first time the government been paying for lobbyists. They cannot succeed, but they still doing it just to waste our resources. It is really, really regrettable to our nation. It cannot help you, but you stay looking for lobbyists to come to America while you stay beyond or PYJ. The people never help you. And the second thing, the time I went to Liberia, one would almost say, if Jawea win next election, God forbid, people will repatriate from Liberia. They will not really see what would be the end result of Liberia. So I always tell my people, come 2023 and vote this man out. If not, Liberia will not be safe on him for next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in. We stay taking your calls 0770-102-102-886, 0103-8355 102-102. So keep your calls coming in wherever you are. If you just joined us,
we got about 13 minutes ago. We'll soon be about 17 minutes ago. We'll soon be done here. Call us and participate. We have some good news we'll be breaking to you, but we're not breaking to you until it will happen. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let it happen, and then you will just know. Then we'll tell you when it's happened. We're not gonna tell you before it happens. We'll tell you when it has happened. Somebody's asking me what's the status of the 3 missing boys. I have no update. I have no information whatsoever. I'm told that the International Justice Group, headed by the well-respected counselor at law and former TRC chair, Jerome Verdier, has done some investigation into the 3 missing boys. And I'm told that their report will be published in the coming days. I'm told just around the 26th. That's what I'm told, that they've done some work, but that's what I'm told. We'll wait to see. So, but as I personally do not have any update on the 3 missing boys. Yep. 3 young men just got up and went missing, right? I'm telling you, just went missing. That's it. Somebody's asking me, Costa, are you going to be on the new show, Class Reloaded? From time to time, but I'm not going to be regularly on. I mean, come on, I have a life, you know? I used to do afternoon podcasts. How often do you see me do afternoon podcasts? Come on now, folks. And you all know that. I used to do regular podcasts, right? I used to come on in the afternoon or sometimes in the evening, right? You don't see me do that much anymore because I'm getting tired. And I have a lot of things to do. So I can't promise you I will be regularly on their show, but from time to time, every now and then. But I will not be frequent. No, I have a lot of things to do. I posted my yesterday morning. I went online to do my registration for my very last semester, my last 3 classes for 2022. And while at it, I looked up my grades and I posted. I got 6 A's and 2 B pluses. 6 A's and 2 B pluses. And you know, I'm just I'm very proud of myself. So you see, I got to do all of that. I got to go to school, and I got to live my life. I got other things I'm doing. I got so many things I'm doing. So I that's why I don't do a lot of afternoon podcasts anymore. You all know I used to do a lot of podcasts. I still post a lot when issues come up, but the podcast takes a lot of energy. Some of you think this thing is easy. We've been doing this for over 10 years, going on 11 years. It's difficult to do this work that we do. To talk to thousands and thousands of people, you gotta have. It takes a lot of energy to even talk. It takes a lot of work to even get all the facts, to put it together, to develop the presentation. It is a lot of work, you know. So, and then besides that, emotionally, I mean, mentally, that's the word. Mentally, I'm tired. I'm just dragging now. I'm like the guy who has just run a marathon, and he's just about at the finish line, and he's exhausted, but he doesn't want to give up. So he's just dragging now. That's all I'm doing. I'm just dragging. Waiting for the elections to be over so I can be done with this thing. I'm tired. I've been doing this thing for so long. I'm tired, my people. I'm tired. There's several reasons why I can't give up now. I can't give up now because to do so would be a huge disappointment. You know, people want to, we have to stay engaged for the elections. We can't give up now. And then even if I were to give up now, people say, oh, maybe the government not getting money for the man to resign from the talk show. All kinds of things. So we will stay the course until the elections, then we're done. We're done. I'm tired. I've got something else that we're doing. We have to give this thing up. Yeah, you know. And then some people act like I'm the one responsible for you being poor. I see the way some people treat me. They treat me as though I'm the one responsible for all the bad things that happen to you in the country. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand it. I'm just a talk show host. I'm an advocate. I speak the truth. I try my best to speak the truth, to speak truth to power, to advocate for those who need advocating for. That's all we do. But yet some of you behave as though we're the ones responsible for everything bad that's happening in the country or to the country. You give us too much credit that we do not deserve. But yes, we will continue to do this show. But coming on in the evening, you know, I don't do that a lot nowadays. And for many, many months, we don't do that a lot. But boy, guy, we've got 10 more minutes to go. We'll take a few more calls before we leave you. That's what we're going to do. You will see me in Liberia in December. God willing, in December, you will see me in the country. I am so excited to come home. I have not been home in a long time. It is the longest I've been away. But I'm coming in December. I miss all of you, all my friends, all my supporters, people I used to run into, just all our love I used to get from all you. I still get that love everywhere I go in the States. On Saturday, for example, I went in the field in Philly, Limber. I had a wonderful time, met a lot of people, a lot of love. It's incredible. It's just incredibly humbling. Humbling is all I can say. The way people love us, oh my God, you will not even believe it. Yeah, we have our detractors, you know, but even the detractors can come to us and say, hey, bro, can I take a picture with you? Fine. If the detractor wants to take a picture with you, that's okay. You know, what is he going to do with the picture? Carry it to his medicine man? Of course not. He's going to say, oh, I took a picture with Henry Costa. You know, so we're looking to come to Liberia in December. And I'm looking forward to just being with you all, just hanging with you, and just, you know, I miss home. I miss home a lot. And I've never been away from Liberia this long. This is my first time. So I will be home in December. That is cast in stone. God himself has ordained it that we'll be home in December. So nobody can stop it. All right, but let's see whether we can take a few more calls. There are 3 more calls, and we'll call it a day. Mr. Vovi Jabate, the founder and the president CEO of Akana. Akana is the African Cultural Alliance of North America. Akana. And Vovi Jabate is a Liberian, through and through, 100%. But what Vovi has been able to accomplish through Akana in the United States, here in Pennsylvania, is incredible. His influence, his reach within Pennsylvania politics is just phenomenal. And Vovi is a wonderful guy. He's one of the pillars of the Liberian community here. And Akana puts on an annual festival that attracts thousands of people. They've had as many as 25,000 people. The Akana Festival, which will be happening this year, yesterday he called me, on the 7th of August is the Akana Festival this year. They will attract, previous Akana festivals attracted, they had stars like Davido performing. They had Yemi Alade and other big stars, African artists come and perform. It's just incredible. They have it in Philadelphia. So save the date. The Akana Festival will be happening on Sunday, the 7th of August, the day after my birthday. Sunday, the 7th of August, 2022 is the first Akana Festival since COVID. So it's going to be fantastic. I've never attended an Akana Festival, but I have to be somewhere. Very important. I'm not going to say where, but so I might not be able to make this Akana Festival. But I couldn't tell Mr. Jabate yesterday because I didn't want to break his heart because I had promised him I would attend. But I have to be somewhere. I'm traveling. And so, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to attend the Akana Festival this year. I hope somebody doesn't tell him. Don't tell Vovi Jabate that I will not attend. I don't want to break his heart. Today is his birthday. So we celebrate the industrious, brilliant, hardworking Vovi Jabate, the founder and CEO of the African Cultural Alliance of North America, ACANA. They put on the best African festival in the United States every year. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's incredible, incredible, incredible. So yes, yo, my brother Jerome Jai, my man, what's up? So yeah, so Jerome said he's talking about me playing checkers. So you know, back in the day, when I lived in Broadville, I started learning how to play checkers, right? But then when I went to Stephen Tauber Estate, and I stayed there for many years, I improved my checker skills. Those were terrible days, the hunger days. Jacob used to be striking all the hell. A couple of things I used to do quite a lot. Play checkers a lot, read a lot of books, listen to the BBC a lot. So I did those things a lot, right? So I really learned how to play checkers. I'm not saying I'm some kind of guru checker player, or I'm some kind of virtuoso in the game of checkers, but I tried. So we went to Philly on Saturday for the tag team games with those guys, and I told the guys I can play. They were like, "Oh, Gaza, you can play, man. You can play checkers. You can only talk." I said, "Okay, I can only talk. Fine, y'all let me play." So I sat there, you know, when it came my turn, and I sat there. And the crowd began to get large, and they were watching us play. I beat the first guy. They said it was luck. Then I beat the second guy. The guy I beat had beaten so many people. And he was a champ on the bowl. I beat him. Then another guy came, I beat him. Then the third guy came, I beat him. Then I got tired. I mean, I just played 3 games. And then the fourth guy came. I went king and all. It was a tough game, but he won. Oh, that guy was like, oh, that was his big line. He was just bragging, oh, I beat Pedro. But it was fun. I had a very good time. So then when I got home, it was Sunday. I called GMB on Sunday. Yesterday we were talking, and I told GMB, I said, oh man, we had a good thing. I didn't feel I played some checkers with the guys. I beat 3 people. He said, oh, that's very good. That's very good. Like nephew, like uncle, because JMB can play checkers too. He can play checkers too very well. So it was a beautiful thing. We had a very good time. We sold some T-shirts. We made some money. And my brother Jonathan Tanu was there. Very nice seeing you, my brother. Darlington Collins was also there. We had a good time. But I can't play football. So somebody asked me, I mean, you playing the game? I can't play football. I can't play football. I love the game. I can't play football, but I love the game, you know. But I can't play. I like to see people play. But we had a good time. We had a very good time. And, you know, there are lots of seditions there. They are normally there on the field. Every Saturday, there are a lot of seditions there. I'm actually looking to join POSA. That's the Pennsylvania, Old Timers Association. Yeah, we had a good time. Me, brother Alvin Jones, brother Aaron Nella. We had a fantastic time. We had a fantastic time out there. Yeah, man. So thank you all so much for watching. I beg to take leave of you. And you all have a good day. Have a blessed day. I'm waiting for you to hit exactly 8 o'clock. Sharp 8. I'm not leaving here before 8. Oh my God. Why can I play soccer? My mom. That's why. I have no athleticism in me whatsoever. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. My mom was Sarah Burton. Peace to her ashes. My mom used to work my behind. And you know, my mom had a Congo way in her, she said, football for Grenada boys. You know, and not only the Congo boys, there are a lot of people in like, bro, you said, your parents, they say, oh, football for Grenada boys. You play football, you sweat, you all your arm be smelling, all that kind of thing there. My mom never let me play football. So I never played. I never played football. I never had time to play. I worked a lot. My mom used to work me from day to night. So up until I was 15, 16, before I went to stay with my uncle Jeremiah Walker, I didn't know how to play football. I didn't know. I started trying to play basketball later on, but I couldn't. I just couldn't because there was no athleticism in me at all. By the time you cross that threshold, that period when you should really, when you are able to pick it up and learn it, by the time you cross it, it's gone. So I never played sports, never played sports, never. But what I did instead, I decided because I'm not good at sports and because I love books. And the reason I love books because I wanted to always be smart. I wanted to be the guy who was smart, who could hold his own, who could talk, who could impress people with his intellect, with his words. So at a very early age, I developed an affinity for book, for learning, for knowledge. And that affinity for knowledge really, really helped me cultivate me into who I am today. The things I know, most of the knowledge I didn't learn from the formal classroom. I learned from self-education. I immersed myself in just self-education, reading and reading and reading and reading and listening. The BBC was my favorite radio station. Still is, still is, still is. I don't catch it here in the US, but whenever I'm in Liberia, in my car, I always tell my driver, BBC. Whenever I get in the car and switch it to another radio station, I get mad. So I still have that affinity for the BBC. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot. Presentation, grammar, construction. I learned when I say construction, I mean how to word up things and pitch them or present them. So yeah, now it is 8 a.m. sharp in Delaware. Thank you so much. God bless you all and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.